Thursday of this 10th week in ordinary time. So we are in the journey with Elijah, and now it was a drought, famine, where there was no rain, and they come to the juncture where Elijah again opening the sky with his word. So in those days, Elijah said to Ahab, "Go up, eat and drink, for there is a sound of the rushing of rain." Now, my dear friends, when you are spiritually connected, so you hear, your frequency is great. You will hear spiritually. Your spiritual ears are open. So no one can hear sound of rushing rain, rather rushing of rain, rather it was just plain. Because once you are connected, your dealing is different. So that's the depth of your spirituality is spoken by the Lord today. Where He says, "For I tell you, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." So there's a level of righteousness in them, but then they are more into lip service, isn't it? They spoke about it, never behaved accordingly, act accordingly. So we have to go beyond in their lifestyle. You have heard that it was said of those of old, "You shall not murder, and whoever murders will be liable to judgment." So murder. So of course Exodus chapter 20, when the Decalogue was given, it speaks about murder. You cannot murder. Thou shalt not die. Thou shalt not kill. So it's a level, of course. But then the Lord is going deeper, because He wants you to be awakened spiritually. And then He says, "But I say to you," I say, it's important, isn't it? That everyone who is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. Of course, that's not same. Judgment is different from complete eternal punishment. So whoever insults his brother will be liable to the council. We call it Sanhedrin. You cannot kill a person there though. So of course the root, in a way the Lord is going to the root to say that your root should be properly connected. So the outcome, more than the fruits, you should focus on the root. So that's exactly, Elijah hears the voice, hears the slashing of rain. So Ahab went up and eat and drink. So Elijah went up to the top of the Mount Carmel, and he bowed himself down on the earth and put his face between his knees. And he said to his servant, "Go up now, look towards the sea." My friends, Elijah never went there, because his connection, he's dealing with the inner self. So you go down, you put your face between his knees. It means you cannot see what is happening outside. So that can be a hindrance. When your eyes are open, you deal with outside. When your eyes are closed, you see more. Your faith is open, isn't it? The eyes of your faith. And today, again, it's important that you go within, you go inside, more than outside. So that's the gesture of his prayer, but putting his head between his knees. And then the servant went and looked and said, "There's nothing." Of course, in your naked eye, you're so curtailed, controlled. You cannot see anything. No rain at all. And then spiritually, that's why he sent the servant, he never went there. He wanted to see spiritually. Root is so important. So important, my dear friends. So that's exactly, the Lord is saying, whoever insults his brother will be liable to counsel. And whoever says, "You fool," will be liable to the hell of fire. We call it Gehenna. Of course, it's a place in Jerusalem where all the carcass, all the dead bodies were burnt there. They believed that always that was burning. And so if you are offering your gift at the altar, and they remember that your brother has something against you, this is very strange. I mean, you offer something externally, you're moving externally, but then the Lord is asking about your internal connection. Because He's a one Father, and we are all brothers and sisters. In 1 John chapter 4 verse 20 it is said, how can you love your brother? How can you love God who cannot be seen without loving your brother who is visible now? Definitely. It's impossible. So that's exactly why we need to keep the Lord is saying, leave your gift there before the altar and go. Of course, all the time the Lord asks all the prostitutes, sinners, tax collectors to come to Him. Come, those who are weary and have a heavy load. But then here He is asking you to go, because I want your inside. So it's one brother, one brotherhood, one body. If one part is suffering, the whole body should suffer. If the head, you are connected to the head. Once you are disconnected, terminated from the connection, of course you won't be able to experience it. So that's exactly why the Lord is saying, keep it and reconcile with your brother and come and offer your gift. Of course you have to offer, but then first you have to reconcile, because if you don't deal with your brother, you cannot deal with God. So He speaks about an inner deeper connection, isn't it? It's beautiful. And what happened? Elijah was praying. Go again, he said, 7 times. And at the 7th time he said, behold, a little cloud like man's hand is rising from the sea. Like a little cloud. That's of course what you can see. What you can see. It's like an iceberg. You can see only a particular part of it, but you see an entire whole iceberg within the waters. You won't be able to see that. So that's like the kingdom. And the Lord is saying, if you deal now what is within, first be reconciled. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are going with him to the court, lest your accuser hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you will be put in prison. Truly I say to you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny. So what is there is like the iceberg within the water. So it's important that you deal with the speck now. It's important you deal with it now. So it's like a little tiny cloud, but then it brought forth a cat and dog rain. Looking at the tiny cloud, Elijah said, lest perhaps your chariot go up, and say to Ahab, perhaps your chariot and go down, lest the rain stops you. So that's exactly how he saw it. When you are spiritually, your eyes are open, your ears are open, you deal differently. That's why you have to deal with your inner blocks more than the outer disturbances. So it's important, my dear friends. It's important. And what happens? And the hand of the Lord was on Elijah, and he gathered up his garment and ran before Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel. So that's the energy. That's a spiritual power. Normally we call horsepower, isn't it? Engine power is measured by horsepower. Now Elijah is running more than the horses. That's spiritual power. So if you clear your heart, clear your inside, clear your roots, you will have that spiritual power with you. Think about it. Have that power. Live in that word and believe the true power of the word of God. Amen. May God bless you.